Alright, part 5, and probably the one that most people have been waiting for. It's Xenolord, with 0 breeding or condensing or grinding and everything. It's still white gear, fresh caught pals, no skill fruits used, just adding the healing potion, and we got the Carbonara for all the pals, and then attack food for the base pals, as well as myself. And this tactic again is going to be using pal pods together with fresh caught legends. So this tactic is possible with 15 Palladius or 15 Frostallions, but I don't really suggest that you go for just 15. It's probably better to go for 30. So while it is possible with 15, I don't really advise it. It is very difficult to use just 15 because the rescue pal that you're using tends to die, even if you're using a party pal. So you can see that this attempt is with just 15 Palladius. It would have been better with 15 Frostallions. I just had 15 Palladius ready from the Rio attempt. So I did do it with these 15 Palladius, but it was very difficult. It needed quite a lot of this kind of stuff, which requires a lot of shield management and a lot of other tricks as well. Like just gliding past the pal box, using Jet Dragon as a party pal to rescuing your rescue pal. There was a lot of stuff going on in this fight, so I don't really suggest that you do it with just 15. It's going to be a lot easier to take the time to catch another set of 15. So if you want to do this as quickly as possible, just go between Frostallion and Palladius and catch them, because they both learn Holy Burst and double Blizzard Spike for Frostallion, and Palladius gets Absolute Frost. So they're good options. So this is the real attempt, or the real one that I want to show. So I got 4 Frostallions in my party and 1 Jet Dragon. And then I got 2 armies of 15 pals, and each one has a rescue Jet Dragon in it. So you build a pal monitor stand and you disable combat for that Jet Dragon specifically. So each one of these squads will have a Jet Dragon to rescue. You could wait with putting the Jet Dragon in the base until a pal gets incapacitated. But in general, unless you get unlucky, the Jet Dragon will just accidentally get hit by some area of effect, get low, and then it will put itself to bed. So this is something you can keep in mind as well. If he teleports up like that, save your Blizzard Spike for that, so you can do what I just did. Saves a little bit of area of effect damage on your pals, if he starts with that teleport skill. You can't do it against Rio, but you can against Xenolord, so that's a neat little trick to just not miss out on that good early start, getting all those 3 skills activated. So for some reason, Xenolord really likes to focus the rescue Jet Dragon. You will see it throughout your attempts, and you can see that Jet Dragon puts itself to sleep, so you can get a bit unlucky and it just dies, like it does there. But then he stops focusing it, and that's also why you have that backup Jet Dragon in your party. So you want to disable combat on your party pal, and then it will get rescued by your party pal. This is also why you don't really want to use a non-fire pal. It would be better with something like a Blasamut and giving it some levels, some Excel scrolls, maybe some defense. Because if there's like a tick, I think it's like every second they take damage. If they get put to bed exactly the same time that they tick from burn damage, they will just get incapacitated again. But it doesn't really matter, because then they just get rescued again. So you keep that Jet Dragon in your party to save the rescue Jet Dragon. Or just to save pals as well. If you have some downtime in the raid, you can just quickly dismount, let Jet Dragon save some pals, and then get back to fighting your Frostallion. And here's also another neat thing. Don't wait for your Frostallion to die if you have the option. Since you do give it that healing potion, you can just swap between your Frostallions and let the other one heal up. Give it like a minute or 2 and it will have recovered quite a lot of health. So that's also something to keep in mind. There are quite a few little tricks you can do to make this fight easier. I guess one of them is to not use white gear and 0 breeding pals. But the point of this series was to do that, so anything you add on top of this strategy will just make it a lot easier. So anything from just adding a little bit of bonus souls, using better gear, using the multi-guided missile launcher is a big one. I find that the plasma cannon has a little bit of a weird, and maybe it's the raid boss itself, but it's quite often when you're 100% sure you're hitting the boss, it just doesn't work. So now when the ads get summoned, you want to go up on this cliff here. So I'll put the coordinates for this base. It's right next to the Hen King Alpha boss. You should recognize it. It's got the level 30 oil rig right next to it. But this spot in particular has this cliff. You climb up here. All the summons start to run up the ramp. They get clumped up. And you can hit them with some either double Blizzard Spike. You can use your rocket launcher. I don't suggest using anything else than rocket launcher really, because rocket launcher has such a huge area of effect. So the first wave of ads is a little bit smaller than the second one, and the second one also has some Xeno guards in it. So the fight can get a little bit chaotic when the ads get summoned, but they tend to just focus you. So if you do, like if you have your raid base in another location, try to find a cliff like that, or something similar. So now you see I'm switching to this jet dragon again, because the rescue jet dragon is incapacitated. So you just wait until your jet dragon rescues it. You can see that my jet dragon did not rescue it, because it's probably been kicked out of the base. So I just took the time to do a little risky play and reset the pals. I did switch now as well. I felt like around half point is a good time to switch. Not really any reason to if your army is doing fine. I just thought that was a good opportunity to get the switch done before the second ad phase. So that's something you will have to sort of practice and get a feel for. But I did it without shields. That's not something I recommend. I think it's worth it if you take the time to run away from the boss for those 30 seconds it takes for your shields to regen before you do the pal swap. But you don't have to wait, but it is a little bit risky. So this second ad phase is a lot more ads. And you will see there, if Xenolord decides to attack you while you're up here, he will run away and attack the pal box instead. But that's not terrible either. Gives you some time to just focus this big ad wave. You can see they're all grouping up nicely. You can start using some of the skills on your Frostallion. It has a lot of area of effect skills. Holy Burst, Blizzard Spike and Double Blizzard Spike are all decent to use against these packs. But you do run the risk that you stand still when you use them. So try not to use them if you and the Frostallion are low. Just pop them when you can. Maybe if you see the Xenovaders focusing something else. But generally you just want to use the rocket launcher. And then maybe use your main weapon, like the multi-guided or the plasma cannon for the Xenoguards. So you can see those Xenolords are pretty stacked up. Plasma cannon will hit both, it's fine. Then a little Holy Burst to finish them off. And in general, when you're doing this kind of tactic with zero breeding and condensing, it's a race against the clock. It's just about doing the DPS, getting your base pals to do the DPS. So if your base pals are wasting attacks on Xenovaders, it's in general a pretty bad idea. Of them, I guess. It wasn't your idea. You want them to attack the boss. But just nuking down the ads as soon as possible is good. And now you can see my entire pal army is dead. So I just send out my jet dragon, and he's rescuing. What you want to do for those party pals is turn off combat in the settings when you choose like focus what I'm attacking, aggressive or whatever. Set your party pal to not attack, and then you can sort of run around dodging the Xenolord and Xenovaders and everything while your jet dragon refreshes the army. Or you could swap back to the original army that wasn't defeated yet. So when I see that my jet dragon revived the other jet dragon, I switch back to Frostallion. Because as same as the other raids, it's still you performing a lot of the DPS. So any time that you waste trying to manage your base pals is a DPS loss overall. So it's kind of not a great idea to spend too much effort reviving your base pals and stuff. You kind of just want to keep them as healthy as possible. And then there are some bugs involved with this pal pod strategy. So sometimes you'll just find your pals not really doing what they're supposed to. I think I sent out a Frostallion as a rescue pal here, because I think my rescue jet dragon passed out. So you probably want to either manage your jet dragon better. I don't think my Frostallions got hit that hard during the fight. You can see all 4 are still alive, so maybe having like 3 jet dragons in your party is better. And then I did a quick switch there to the first army's jet dragon. So it is a lot of like management. This is also why I don't suggest you do with only 15 base pals. Having that 2 sets of 15 base pals makes it a lot easier, because otherwise you're spending a lot of the fight doing some tricky base management, switching pals around, you're gonna have to switch your party pal for the base pal a lot with the jet dragons and everything. So it just adds a lot of unnecessary difficulty compared to just catching another 15. So that's kind of why I don't suggest it. It's possible, but I'm not gonna make that would be more like look at what I can do kind of video than a guide. This is a little bit better. And then when you see Xenolord focusing you with a skill, you need to run. Also try to manage your stamina a little better. I got pretty lucky there being able to run away from that one. So when you see your stamina start to drop on Frostallion, take every opportunity to land and regen your stamina. You don't want to run out. Especially when it's this kind of race against the clock. I'm using a lot of skills on her, which is very dangerous. So I don't really suggest that you use like double blizzard spike and stuff on Xenolord, since it often leads to trouble when you're standing still like that. It's never good to be charging up a double blizzard spike when he uses Omega Laser in general. And now you can see the Jet Dragon isn't rescuing anything anymore because his sanity is dropped to 0, so he's just angry, not rescuing. He's taking a break, so you probably want to switch to another Jet Dragon at that point. But I thought that we were gonna make this, so I didn't really bother with switching Jet Dragons. You can, that's what I meant with a lot of base management needed. If you're doing this with just 15 pals, then you would need to take your Jet Dragon into your party, like spam pizza on it or something to give it sanity. Like just feeding it like 10 pizza real quick in the middle of the raid is a pretty difficult thing to do, unless you're super used to doing like this base management, pal swapping kind of stuff. So maybe you didn't watch like part 1 to 4 of this series, this budget raiding series. So I'm not really sure what I've mentioned in this video and what I haven't mentioned yet in the previous ones. But it is max research. I got all stats in attack. I got the 3 attack pendants. But after that it's white gear and fresh caught pals and no skill fruits used. So anything you add to this with like any sort of multi-guided missile launcher, armor from schematics, teaching your pals some skill fruits, everything will just make this easier. The thing that I think is most important is to just give them some souls, because you can reset them. It's not like a waste of souls. And then to just save your beds, just send out some watering pals, save those precious hexalite and circuit boards. And you can see it's the white gear, some fresh caught Frostallions. So that's how you do Xenolord with 0 breeding or grinding for schematics or oil rigs or anything. Nothing real invested used. Once you get your Xenolord egg, if that was just what you're hunting, you can just butcher these alphas. So for now, thanks for watching.